Okay, so we are starting our Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu session number 4, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. It was written by Srila Rupa Goswami, who is said to be the forefather of, or the founder of Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya under Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All the 6 Goswamis except established Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, and it is been widely spread all over India, all over US, all over the world by Srila Prabhupada. So, some of you have newly joined today, and some of you are already joining from previous sessions. Just to give you a background, we read 2 works part of this session. The first 10 minutes we will dedicate to Gopala Champu, and rest of the time until 6:15 we will dedicate to Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Then beyond that, if you have any Q&A, you can ask. Feel free to drop off during the Q&A session. It's optional. But these two are, expected to attend. The reason Gopala Champu is included here is that Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is a very technical manual. And while we are going through that technical manual, we also relish the pastimes of Krishna, and we can also appreciate Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu more and more as we are reading the pastimes of Krishna in Gopala Champu. Gopala Champu is written by Jiva Goswami. It's a re-rendition of 10th canto, and he has written in a sweeter way. So we'll start with that, Gopala Champu. So last time when we are reading Gopala Champu, we saw that Krishna, he is returning from Mathura. Gopala Champu starts with the story that Krishna, after going to Mathura, killing Kamsa and other people, and finally killing Dantavakra, he came back to Vrindavan, and after 33 years. So when he came back to Vrindavan, all the Vrajavasis became very happy. They lost their life at that point when Krishna went with Akrura to Mathura. Now, almost they lost their life. Now, when Krishna came back, they felt as if their prana has come back. So, they started the celebration. The celebration started from the homes of Nanda Maharaj. So, we saw that how Nanda Maharaj arranged for this different types of bards, Sutas, Magadas, and Vandis, and they all came together and they were reciting new verses composed in different ragas and melodies, and um, it was a festival time there in Vrindavan, and they were also giving out a lot of charity to everybody who was coming, and the entire Vrindavan was getting overwhelmed with the prema for Krishna. So at that time, the gopis started singing about the pastimes of Krishna. As soon as the gopis started singing about the pastimes of Krishna, everyone became silent in Vrindavan. Before that, everyone was celebrating with a lot of music and dance and songs. But as soon as the gopis started singing, everybody became silent and they want to hear the what the gopis are speaking, what the gopis are singing. Just like when Krishna goes to the forest and he plays his flute, the all the animals, all the birds, they become silent because they want to attentively hear the flute sound of Krishna because it's so sweet. Like that, the gopis singing is also very much sweet. Therefore, everybody became silent. So, in this way, we also saw that how Jiva Goswami started mentioning about that the illusion that the gopis had husbands other than Krishna, that illusion was removed at that time. So this is Jiva Goswami's message here, and he will repeat it throughout Gopala Champu. And we also saw that what Vishwanath Chakravarti, how he resolves this, that the gopis' love for Krishna in the Parakya Bhava was mentioned as illusion, but how that illusion is reconciled by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, we have seen in last session. If you have not, please go ahead and watch. Now I'll continue from there. So when Krishna came back, all the gopis, they became very happy. They they were located in their individual homes, but all of them obtained Krishna simultaneously. Just like Krishna in Dwaraka, when he was having 16,000 wives, he had individual palaces built for each wife. And with each of these wives, simultaneously he expanded and then he was spending time with. So, similarly, when Krishna came here, all the gopis were at their home, and then Krishna expanded himself and he went to all the different homes of the gopis and he spent time with them. So at that time, in Sanskrit, it is mentioned that Ramanatam, they attained happiness. Ramana means happiness. Now, another word for Ramana means husband. They attained Krishna as their husband. So they were, when they obtained Krishna, they wanted this never to be end. There should not be any end to this. We want to continue to serve Krishna very closely in Madhurya Rasa. But however, uh, the morning time is coming, as the morning is, Krishna came back at the end of the night, but as the morning started coming, morning sun started arising, the Sakis wanted to separate both Krishna and Radha so that the other pastimes can take place. So how do they do that? They start playfully playing songs. They sing the songs like, Krishna, your parents are waiting, like that. They will indicate different things in the songs to both Krishna and Radha. So in this way, they'll separate the Sakis or the mm, friends of the gopis. They will separate both Krishna and Radha. So among the groups of gopis, which we will look at it later, but I just to give you a summary. Among the groups of gopis, there among the gopis there are multiple groups. Each group has a leader, a group leader. So those group leaders directly associate with Krishna. The rest of the group in a group, the rest of the people in the group, they help the group leader to associate with Krishna. This will be discussed in much more detail in the second chapter of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. But here, so therefore, the Sakis who are all, separating Krishna from the gopis and separating the group leader uh, from Krishna. So that is what is happening here. Now, so when Radhika, who is the head of all the groups, who is the closest to Krishna of all the groups, she was almost fainting when the time of separation from Krishna came out. From the beginning, she was feeling like, as soon as the time comes out, that, I'm going to be separated from Krishna. And thinking about that, she started feeling already that, separation has happened. So in the union, though Krishna is with her, she is feeling separation because the impending separation is about to appear. So at that time, Krishna started thinking that Radha, she was attached to me even before the meeting. But as soon as we two meet together, Krishna and Radha, they meet together, immediately she started thinking about the public criticism. Because as we were talking, the all the gopis, they identify themselves as husband and wives of somebody else. So therefore, they have this bhava that the people, the public will criticize when they associate with Krishna. But as I previously, saw that in Bhagavatam multiple verses, that this is the relationship between Bhagavan and his devotees. So there is no public criticism, real public criticism, but all the gopis feel that, there is going to be public criticism. They are associating with Krishna. So Radha was burned by this public criticism, fear of public criticism. But when Krishna is again separating, again she is feeling uh, misery, suffering. Just like a flower, you take a jasmine flower and you put it in a forest fire, it burns like that. So, this is what Krishna is thinking. How will I console her? How can I console her that I am separating from Radha? How will I be able to console? As we saw previously, the suffering, the so called suffering there in the spiritual world among the devotees, especially the gopis, this is not really a suffering. This is just an expression of bliss. that is arising from prema. Just like we have juice. If you take juice, you have different varieties of juice: grape juice, apple juice, mango juice. But all of them are juice. Similarly, in the spiritual world, you have different feelings. Sometimes sadness, sometimes fear, sometimes anger. But all of them are nothing but different variations of bliss. In this world, in the material world, all of them are variations of suffering. If I feel suffering, I'm really suffering. If I feel fear, I'm suffering. If I feel anger, I'm suffering. So these are all just suffering. If I feel happiness, I will suffer. Why? After some time, the happiness will disappear, or somebody will get envious of me. Here, everything is just an expression of suffering, but in the spiritual world, everything is an expression of bliss. So we should not misunderstand that the suffering of Radha or the other gopis are actually suffering. It's just a pure bliss, an expression of bliss. But even then, they don't want separation from Krishna, because that takes away the opportunity for them to serve and please Krishna. So then, when Krishna was separating, Radha fainted. So when she fainted, how then all the Sakis, all the friends of Radha, they come and give the remnants of Krishna, such as the pan, tambula that Krishna has eaten, and giving other remnants that Krishna has left out. And by that, as soon as the fragrance of that tambula comes out, Radha recovers from the fainting. Then um, immediately the gopis started thinking, how will we remove this excruciating pain from Radha? We should do something. So they immediately start changing the um, rasa of what Radha is feeling. Right now, the Radha is feeling Madhurya rasa toward Krishna, and then separation, the feeling of separation, she is feeling toward Krishna. But they want to change that rasa. So immediately they reminded of Yashoda. Yashoda is Krishna's mother, but she treats Radha as if her own daughter. So Radha also feels motherly feelings toward Yashoda. Now, as soon as they reminded Yashoda, the rasa will change. So they reminded that, Yashoda is actually thinking about you, that when will Radha come? So this is the morning time. When morning time starts, what happens? They have to cook for Krishna. They have to get ready everything for Krishna. So she started thinking about all the young girls in the entire village has come to me. But Radhika, who is more dear to me than my own life, she has not come. What is she doing? Why she didn't come? Huh? So this message was given by the Sakis, the friends of Radha, to Radha. As soon as this message was heard by Radha, she immediately recovered from the Madhurya rasa toward Krishna, and then rasa got changed. So now she was able to come out of that fainting. So this is how the Sakis help Radha to come to a normal state. So we'll stop here. We'll continue what happens from here. But I want to mention one more thing, that in the Gopala Champu, we saw that Krishna was coming back from Mathura to Vrindavan, and then all the Vrajavasis are meeting Krishna. And then once they met, celebrated everything, then the regular life starts. So, what is the regular life of Krishna? Krishna has eightfold pastimes throughout the day. Morning pastime, early morning pastime, noon pastime, afternoon pastime, evening pastime, night pastime, like that. So throughout the day, he has different things. More or less, there is a template to it. He follows that. So this starts from here, this Gopala Champu at this point onwards. So he's going to describe that routines of Krishna, different, what are all the things he's going to do from morning. So this starts with Radhika changing her mood from the absorption of Madhurya Rasa toward Krishna to going toward Yashoda. So we'll stop here and we'll continue our Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. This is my presentation. Okay. So Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So as you see the schedule, we are starting here Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the entire book is divided into 4 different sections: East, South, West, and North. There are total 2100 verses, almost 3 times the size of Bhagavad Gita. So we'll try to cover as many verses as possible. Some of the verses we will skip, where for one particular topic, Rupa Goswami will give multiple examples. We may skip all those things to cover the entire book in time. And some of the verses are important, like the first verse of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So we will delve more deeper into it by looking at the commentaries as well. But otherwise, we'll just try to cover as much as possible. The first section is the Eastern section. It talks about Bhakti in general. The second section, third section, fourth section, they talk about only one thing: Rasa. What is Rasa is defined nicely in the second section. Third section and fourth section, they talk about different varieties of Rasa. This is the ingredients of Rasa, and these are the varieties of Rasa. The second section is the biggest section. And now, the first section we are going to look into it today. The first section, it has 4 chapters. Each chapter is called a wave. So you take a ocean, and Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is an ocean, and ocean has 4 different directions: east, west, north, and south. And these are the sections. And within that, you have, in each direction you go and stand in the beach, you will have the waves coming. Like that. That is the analogy he is describing here. Each chapter is a wave. So first chapter is going to talk about bhakti. The second chapter is going to talk about sadhana bhakti, practicing bhakti. The third chapter is going to talk about bhava bhakti, the first stage of love of Godhead. The fourth chapter is going to talk about prema bhakti. The biggest chapter is sadhana bhakti. As you see that it has 309 verses. Rest are all less than, more or less equal to 50 verses. Okay, so there is a question. Do you know if there is any, from Rasheshwari Mataji, if there is any logic why each is called respectively? So why something is called east, that I do not know actually. Why something is called west, something is called, but he starts the whole work from eastern direction, the auspicious eastern direction, and then you put it in a diagram. So after east comes south, after south comes west, after west comes north. So he goes into the clockwise direction, starting from the eastern direction. Apart from that, I do not know whether any specific reason that he is associating the eastern direction with this topic and western direction with this topic, but he is going in a clockwise direction. Okay. And this is the first chapter. We are going to go into the first chapter, which is overview of bhakti. What is bhakti? In the first chapter, we have Mangalacharan verses. 6 Mangalacharan verses he writes. So what is Mangalacharana? Mangalacharana means invocation of auspiciousness. So in any Sanskrit work, the author first writes some Mangalacharan verses. This Mangalacharan verses can do 3 things. It can give blessings to the audience, whoever is reading, to the reader. So when you are starting a work, the author is giving some blessings. For example, Rupa Goswami gives blessings in his drama Vidagdha Madhava. He says that may the son of Sachi, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, appear in your heart all the time. So when we are reading the work, we are also receiving the blessing of Sri Rupa Goswami. So different authors give different blessings. Mangalacharana can give a blessing, or it can be a prayer that the author is praying toward his own Ishta Devata, to Krishna, Rama, Narasimha, like that. Or if they are like Devata worshipper, they pray to their own Devata. So toward the Ishta Devata, the author can pray. The third type of Mangalacharan is that the entire subject matter will be explained in a nugget, or something about the subject matter will be explained in the first verse, sort of giving a prelude to the whole work. That is the third type of Mangalacharana. In the first verse of this work, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami will be doing the third type, which is he will be indicating what is about to come in this work. Third type of Mangalacharan. But after that, he has like 6 verses fully Mangalacharan. So he will be, offering obeisances to, different people and things like that. So we'll see. Then after that, he himself explains the divisions of the book. What it is, he is dividing this work into east and west and southern and northern divisions, and within each division he has this distinction like that. Then he gives a definition of Uttama Bhakti or pure Bhakti. What is pure Bhakti? Many times we discuss what pure Bhakti, but what is that pure Bhakti? He defines. If you have attended Bhakti Shastri, you would have already come across this verse, famous verse, Uttama Bhakti. And then he gives quotation. You would see that whenever our Acharya introduce a topic, they will substantiate with quotes from Shastras, especially Srimad Bhagavatam. One verse he defined in Bhakti, 11th verse he is defining Uttama Bhakti, but then he gives 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 5 verses he gives quotations from different works to support that, I'm not making up anything. It's all from the Shastras only. I'm just, churning it and then taking it out. Then he gives 6 characteristics of Uttama Bhakti. 17 to 14. Uh, there are 6 important characteristics of Uttama Bhakti is there, pure devotional service. Within that, he also gives quotations. For each characteristic, he will just define, and then within that, he will define some more things, and then he will give a quotation to substantiate his claim, and then he will give another thing, he will give a quotation like that. It will go on and like that. Then finally, how can we understand bhakti? What is the qualification to understand bhakti? He defines in 2 verses. So this is the overall chapter 1 of the eastern section of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Having said that, so this is the first verse of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. This verse goes like this. अखिल रसामृत मूर्ति प्रसर्मर रुचिरुद्ध तारका पाली कलित श्यामा ललितो राधा प्रेयान विधुर्जयति अखिल रसामृत मूर्ति प्रसर्मर रुचिरुद्ध तारका पाली कलित श्यामा ललितो राधा प्रेयान विधुर्जयति. This is a Mangalacharan verse. Akhila Rasamrita Murti. Akhila, everything. Akhila Rasa, all the rasas. Amrita, the rasas are like nectar. All the rasas, the nectarian rasas. Murti, form. So he is a personification, a personal form. He is a form made of all the nectarian rasas combined together. So in the last time we saw that in the Upanishads it was mentioned, Raso Vaisaha Rasam Hi Evayam Labdhvanandi Bhavati. The Lord is Rasa himself. He is made of this Rasa. So he is a personification of all these Rasas. And as we previously discussed, what is Rasa? It's an experience in a particular relationship you get out of it. It's a feeling you get. It's not just a feeling alone. It's a combination of multiple things. When they come together, one experiences some bliss, and that bliss is called rasa. Just like when you are cooking halwa, you put water, suji, sugar, and spices, and then you cook all these. These are the different ingredients, and then when you cook all these things, finally the halwa comes out. Like that, there are multiple ingredients to the rasa, and all of them are combined together. A final experience for a particular individual, it comes out. This experience of rasa happens in 2 people. One is Krishna himself and the devotee. Krishna and the devotee, they experience rasa. Krishna himself is the personification of all these rasas. Prasurmara ruchi ruddha taraka pali. So Taraka is a gopi, Pali or Palika is another gopi. So it says Prasarmara Ruchi. Prasarmara means oozing out. What is oozing out? Ruchi, taste or beauty. The beauty of Krishna is oozing out from him because he is the personification of all the rasas. And because his beauty is just oozing out, Taraka and Pali, these two gopis, they get attracted by Krishna. They are just looking at Krishna and they cannot do anything else. They get too much mesmerized by it. Ruddha, they are controlled. The Taraka and Bhalika Gopi are controlled by the oozing out beauty of Krishna. Kalita Shama Lalitaha. There is two more gopis, Shama and Lalita. Shama belongs to the friendly group of Radha. Lalita is a friend of Radha herself. So Krishna makes Shama and Lalita his own. He conquers them, makes them his own. Radha Preyan, but he gives pleasure to Radha. So he controls everybody else, but then he gives pleasure to Radha. Everybody else is giving pleasure to Krishna, but Krishna becomes pleasure giver of Radha. So he comes under the control of Radha. Everybody else he controls, but he comes under the control of Radha. So that person is called Vidhu. In Sanskrit, Krishna has a name called Vidhu. It comes in Amarakosha dictionary as we will see in the commentary. So Krishna himself is called Vidhu. Vidhu Jayati. May he excel. So what is the whole meaning? Look at in the next one. So here I have given line by line meaning along with the Sanskrit terms in the bracket in the English. So we'll go through one more time to understand it fully. Then there is a translation at the bottom, English translation. Akila Rasamrita Murti, he who is the personification of all nectarian rasas. Prasur Mararuchi Ruddha Taraka Palihi, he who enchants Taraka and Palika by his radiating beauty. Kalita Shama Lalitaha, he who brings under control Shama and Lalita. Radha Preyan Vidhuru Jayati, he who gives pleasure to Radha, the Vidhu, excels. So if you go here, this Vidhu, this one word is defining Krishna, and all other words, Akila Rasamrita Murti, Prasimara Ruchi Ruddha Taraka Pali, Kalita Shama Lalita, Radha Preyan, all these are adjective, are describing this Vidhu. So in Sanskrit, when you see there is a hyphen between multiple words here, this word is a compound word. Akila Rasamrita Murti is compound word, only one word. It's not three words. It is internally composed of three words, but it's together, it's only one word. So first line has only one word. Second line also has one word. Third line has one word. Fourth line has one, two, three words. So all the words in the first line, second line, third line, and the fourth line just before Vidhu are all describing this Vidhu. Jayati is the verb here, which is saying that may this Krishna, who is giving pleasure to Radha, who brings Shama and Lalita under his control, and who enchants Taraka and Palika using his beauty, and who is a personification of all the rasas, may he excel. Krishna, the personification of all nectarian rasas, who enchants Taraka and Palika by his radiating beauty, possesses Shama and Lalita and gives pleasure to Radha excels. So we saw that there are three types of Mangalacharan a person can write. This is the third type of Mangalacharan where the author is indicating what kind of work he is going to write. The work he is going to write is about Krishna. There is nobody else that has been described in the first verse, only Krishna. So he's going to be writing about Krishna. And then his devotees are also described in that verse in relation to Krishna. So Krishna and his devotees in relation to Krishna and their exchange, rasa. This is what he is going to describe. But as we see here, Tarakapali, they have Madhurya Rasa toward Krishna. Shama and Lalita, they have Madhurya Rasa toward Krishna. Radha, she has Madhurya Rasa toward Krishna. So, is it the work going to only talk about Madhurya Rasa? No. This work talks mainly about all the rasas, and Madhurya Rasa actually he writes very, very little in this work. Here and there he writes, but then the chapter itself is relatively small compared to other chapters. But then why does he describe more about Madhurya Rasa only in the first verse, as if the whole work is going to be talked about only Madhurya Rasa? The reason is that, as we will see in the commentary, just to give a synopsis to that, Madhurya Rasa contains the intensity of all the rasas. Not, it doesn't contain all the rasas because that will be contradictory. Some rasas like Vatsalya Rasa, it's contradictory to Madhurya Rasa, which he will discuss in the last chapter of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. But it contains all the intensities. There is Shantarasa, there is Dasya Rasa, there is Sakya Rasa, there is Vatsalya Rasa, there is Madhurya Rasa. The intensity increases in each and every rasa as we go higher up to Madhurya Rasa. But Madhurya Rasa contains all the intensities that you would see in other rasas together. Therefore, just by explaining Madhurya Rasa, you are explaining all other rasas. Just like there is a verse in, I think, Upanishads or Vedanta Sutra, I forgot. So it says that just by knowing Krishna or knowing the Supreme Lord, you know everything else. Because Krishna contains everything else within him. The whole universe is nothing but his Shakti. All the Jivas are nothing but his Shakti. The whole spiritual world is nothing but his Shakti. So by knowing Krishna, you can know everything. So similarly, by explaining Madhurya Rasa, he is saying all the rasas are explained. So that is how the justification is done. And we'll read more in the commentary that how Jiva Goswami and Vishnu Chakravarti and Mukunda commentator will talk about this. But before we go to get into the commentary, want to give a little bit more details on what is this rasa, multiple rasas that we are describing. What are all the different rasas? Today it's going to be a little bit technical. We are introducing all these new terms. If you have not come across, if you have already come across, it's going to be easier for you. Okay. So Shanta, there are two classes of rasas. There are total 12 rasas existing. But within that, there are two classes of rasas, primary and secondary. The primary rasas are 5. The secondary rasas are 7. These are all different experiences as we discussed. Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhurya, 5 primary rasas. Secondary rasas, Hasya, joking, Adbhuta, wonder, Veera, chivalry, Karuna, compassion, Raudra, anger, Bhayanaka, fear, Bhibhatsa, disgust. All these are secondary rasas. In the material world, as we discussed previously, when you are watching a movie, the director or the story writer is putting a lot of rasas into the movie. The secondary rasas become prominent in the material world. The primary rasas take a back seat. The primary rasas, what is that? Dasya, servant and master, Sakya, friends, Vatsalya, motherly, and Madhurya, the conjugal. All these, they are just to establish relationship between the characters. But then the secondary rasas, they take on the primary nature. So we see a movie like comedy movie, thriller movie, war, or like, fight movie, whatever it is. And based on anger that the villain is having toward the hero, like that. And the villain is having bhaya, fear toward the hero, like that. These are the main rasas that come in the front in the material world. But in the spiritual world, they take on the secondary nature. They are not the main. The 5 primary rasas become the main. So therefore, we will see in the pastimes of Krishna, most of the time, the plot will be very less. oh, Krishna does this. It will not be like when you're reading Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a thriller movie that's happening. I need to watch. Some places, those rasas are also will be there, but most of the time it's not like that. Krishna came and then he just offered obeisances to Nanda Maharaj. Nanda Maharaj lifted him and then he smelled the uh, hairs of Krishna and then he embraced him and then he was looking at Krishna and then the tears were flowing. Mostly this is just describing Vatsalya Rasa. It in multiple verses will be describing this. And then the same with the friends also. The friends, they were running behind Krishna, and Krishna is going forward. And then Krishna tried to touch them, and all the Gopas try to touch Krishna. Sakya Rasa. There is no Hasya, Adbhuta, Veera. They are all taking secondary. They are also there, but they take a secondary nature. So in the spiritual world and the pastimes of Krishna, we will primarily see these things. Why? Because that is what the devotees are aspiring for. The devotees are going to attain that in the spiritual world. They will be inspired by particular rasa. So they are looking forward for that. That is what they are going to enjoy with Krishna as well. Having said that, um, the rasas, we'll look at what is this rasa? Shanta rasa. Shanta rasa is attained by people who have predominance of impersonal jnana, impersonal knowledge. They do not think, when they look at the Lord, they do not think that this is my Krishna. They don't think like that. Or I belong to this Krishna. No. They look at the Lord like a Paramatma. He is neutral toward everyone. He is Sama. He is equal toward everyone. The devotees in Shantarasa, when they look at Krishna, they think like that. And their feelings are toward the Lord like that. He is the bliss personified. The Brahman is standing in front of me. The Paramatma, who is neutral to everyone, who is equal to everyone, he is standing in front of me. That's how they appreciate Krishna. So they attain Shantarasa. The examples we have is the Kumaras. And the Kumaras, they look at the Lord, they look in that particular form. Dasya Rasa. Dasya Rasa, the devotees in Dasya Rasa, they identify as inferior to the Lord. I am inferior to the Lord. Lord is great and I am very small. Lord, I am an object of mercy toward the Lord. The Lord should shower mercy upon me and then I just receive that mercy and then I feel. Dasya Rasa. This is, we are talking about those who have achieved the rasa, which is happens in the prema stage. They think that Krishna is an object of worship. We need to worship Krishna and we need to serve Krishna. Majority of the devotees who have relationship with Krishna in any other form, like Vishnu, Narasimha, or different forms of the Lord, majority they have this dasya rasa. So only with Krishna you would see the other types of rasas are predominant. But with all other forms of Krishna, you would only see this dasya rasa predominant. In Vaikunta, Lakshmi has Madhurya toward Vishnu, but you won't see anyone else having Madhurya. There is only few, two, three people will have different rasas, but majority of them will have dasya toward Krishna, Vishnu. Sakya. In Sakya Rasa, the devotees feel sort of Krishna is equal, my my best friend, my buddy. That kind of feeling they will identify with Krishna. They will have a lot of familiarity with Krishna. They won't reserve themselves from Krishna like what devotees in Dasirasa were doing. They have this sense of equality and they will easily laugh with Krishna, joke with Krishna. There won't be any sense of reserve. Oh, he's God. No. You would see that when Krishna is, as we will see in the next slide, when Krishna is fighting with the rustlers in Mathura, friends of Krishna, they were joking, they were laughing. It's a serious business that Krishna is doing. Actually, he's going to kill Kamsa, who was torturing his parents. But the friends, they were just joking and playing, making fun like that. Vatsalya, those devotees who are in Vatsalya, they identify themselves as superior to Krishna. They think themselves as worthy of respect to Krishna. Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, we have. They think themselves worthy of respect for Krishna. And how do they feel? They feel that they have to protect Krishna. They have to bless Krishna with abundant blessings. And they have to touch him. And they kiss him with Vatsalya Bhava. And they are ready to shower mercy and benedictions to Krishna. That is their mood. Vatsalya Rasa. Madhurya Rasa, it's a conjugal love between a girl and a boy of the same, almost the same age, you can say. Um, the exchanges that happen. This, as we discussed previously, that there is Swakiya and Parakiya. Swakiya is wedded, formally you are married in front of the public toward Krishna. The devotee is married to Krishna in public, and there are a separate set of devotees who are not married to Krishna, but they have a relationship with Krishna. These two together come under Madhurya Rasa. All these rasas are nicely portrayed in this particular verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 43rd chapter, 17th verse, where Krishna, this is an AI generated picture, I generated, you may see Greek characters sitting everywhere, but I tried my best. So Krishna is walking in the arena of Kamsa. So you see this Kamsa is sitting here. Krishna and Balaram, both of them are coming together. And when this happened, when Krishna entered Mathura, after dealing with so many devotees, there was this Kuvalaya Pida. This elephant was coming toward to hit Krishna and kill Krishna. So Krishna broke the trunk of that elephant, and then he was all sprayed with blood all over his body. And then he is walking inside that arena that Kamsa has arranged to fight with two wrestlers, Chanura and Mushtika. And after fighting with them, Krishna will go and kill Kamsa. So Kamsa is sitting very fearful that Krishna has come close. The death which was predicted by the voice long time back, he has come in front of him. So he is fearfully sitting. The Nanda Maharaj has also come here along with some Vrajavasis who come to Krishna. They want to take Krishna back after Krishna kills Kamsa. They want to take him back to Vrindavan. So they have also come here. So when all of them are sitting here, this verse is mentioned by Shukadeva Goswami. Mallanam ashani nirnam naravara strinam smaro murtiman Gopanam swajano satam shitibhujam Shasta swapitro shishu Mrityurbhojapatervirada vidusham Tattvam param yoginam Vrishninam paradevateti vidito Rangam gatasagraja Mallanam ashanirnirnam naravara Strinam smaro murtiman Gopanam swajano satam shiti bhujam Shasta swapitro shishu Mrityurbhojapatervirada vidusham Tattvam param yoginam Vrishninam paradevateti vidito Rangangatas So we'll look at the explanation of this verse along with how the 12 rasas are portrayed in this verse next week. So we'll stop here. If you have any questions, comments, and suggestions, you can bring it out now.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Nikhil Prabhuji, Dandas Pranam.
Dandas Pranam, Prabhu. Prabhu, in the first, in the Mangalacharan itself, I just had a question where it seemed like contradictory ideas were being presented, where it's written that Krishna possesses Shama and Lalita. At the same time, he gives pleasure to Radharani, right?
Hmm.
Is there anything you can elaborate on that?
Yeah. So he's not at the same time he's holding all these different gopis. He's mentioned that in general he gives pleasure to Radha. These are different adjectives specifying qualities of Krishna at different time. Not we don't have like a single picture where it's like he's holding Taraka and Pali and then he's holding bringing Shama and Lalita under control and then he is giving pleasure to Radha. Not like that. In different instances. In one instance, when Taraka looks at Krishna or Palika looks at Krishna, they come under the control of Krishna. In another instance, he attracts Shama and Lalita. In another instance, he gives happiness to Radha. May that Krishna, who does these things, become excel, basically.
Okay, Prabhu. A quick follow-up is there any specific reason why these four gopis in the
Yes,
Mangalacharan?
yes. So that is there in the commentary. I'm reserving that topic for.
I can wait. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. That was Pranam Jai Shri Prabhupada. So beautiful, excellent Prabhu. Thank you so much for taking efforts and making this presentation. Actually, it takes a lot of time to make this, and moreover, the AI picture you made, artificial intelligence, that was so beautiful, Prabhuji. So beautiful. Actually, I haven't seen that picture earlier like this in this much detail. Everybody were there. Actually, I don't know how. Thank you so much for taking your time and making all this and giving pleasure to our eyes and also our brain and our heart. And very nice, wonderful explanations. Hoping to hear more and more and more from you in the
Yeah,
future.
thank you so much, Mataji, for
Thank you so much.
participating and encouraging. Okay, so if there is no more questions, then we'll stop here. Thank you, devotees, for joining. We'll continue discussing the first verse of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. The first verse is very important because it is the Mangalacharan verse for some more sessions. Then after that, we'll pick up the speed.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna Prabhu, do you have like 1 minute? I had a question.
Yes. We have until 6:30. We can take questions. People can feel free to drop off. Yes, bro.
Okay. In the secondary rasas,
Hmm.
the list that you had, a lot of those sound like sins.
Yeah,
Like they sound like not qualities to have.
yeah,
So why are those even rasas at all? Because they just sound like emotions, less how I can appreciate Krishna.
yeah.
Maybe if you can talk about that.
Yeah, that's a very good point, which was also brought out by Rupa Goswami in fourth section of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Like, for example, Raudra, anger. How can it be a rasa? And then Bhayanaka. How can you be fearful of Krishna? Bipatsa, disgust. How can you feel disgust toward Krishna? So he brings out this thing. Like, the Raudra rasa is when devotees feel anger toward the demons when they try to attack Krishna. So that is the Raudra rasa. It is not they are feeling anger toward Krishna. They are feeling toward the demons. They are feeling this anger. Bhayanaka. Mother Yashoda feels fear when Putana comes and takes away Krishna. So she's not feeling fear um, about from Krishna. She's feeling fear about that Krishna is being taken away by this hideous demoness. So she is expressing this Bhayanaka rasa. Bhibatsa rasa, disgust, when people feel toward the matter, this material energy, this products in the material energy, this is all disgust. I don't want. I want Krishna only. So that is the disgust here. Toward other things, whatever the negative things are, not toward Krishna. But then the Veera,
Hmm.
chivalry, that the friends of Krishna, when they fight mock fight, boast, especially Sridama, who is the symptom of or symbol of Sakyarasa. So he feels like, Krishna, you can beat me. Come, you are beating all the demons. I'll beat you now. And then he shows his chivalry toward Krishna, and then this is hold together and then fight. So that is not negative. So as more like mock fighting they do, but these three things are expressed toward other things rather than toward Krishna.
Got it. That makes sense.
Yes.
And um, how do we reconcile this with, in Bhagavad Gita, almost everywhere it's written, if you can stay neutral in happiness and distress, then that is the quality to strive for. And
Yeah.
here, it's a lot more of feel the rasas, but for the benefit of Krishna, or feel all of these emotions, but for the benefit of Krishna. So how do you reconcile that?
Yeah, so there you say you have to be neutral, you should not be agitated, and you have to, emotions you should control. But then here we see that full of emotions are coming out, and then these waves and waves of emotions are coming out. So when Krishna says to control emotions and be neutral, it is toward the material energy, whatever is happening in the matter. When heat, shitoshna, sukha dukkada, agama, this, the cold and heat are coming and going, tolerate them. That is with the material body toward the material things that are happening. But with the spirituality, which is beyond three modes of material nature, completely spiritual, we want those emotions. Otherwise, we will end up in Brahman. If we don't have any spiritual emotion, but we also don't have anything material emotion, then we just end up in Brahman. If we have material emotions, we will be stuck
Mm,
in the material world. If we have
mm,
spiritual emotions, then we'll be pulled to the spiritual world. And the goal of a devotee is to go to the spiritual world and serve Krishna. And while serving Krishna, you will experience all these different emotions. And that is good. And because that is pure bliss. Whereas in the material world, it's just a different forms of suffering. So therefore, tolerate this suffering and then go to the spiritual world and enjoy this full bliss.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Very clear.
Thank you. Thank you for the very nice questions you have brought out.
Vraja Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandas Pranam. Thank you for joining, Prabhuji.
Dandavat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhu.
You would like to add something, Prabhu?
No, I have a question for you.
Oh, Prabhu. You are not doing mocking like Sridhama is doing mocking with Krishna.
No, not at all. Not at all. So my question was, you said that, disgust is something that you travel towards material world, and that's the reason it's there. But these emotions are there in the spiritual world. And in spiritual world, there is no matter. So how do we reconcile the fact that these, at least the disgust, is there in spiritual world, but there is no matter? And how do the devotees experience it?
Yeah, thank you for bringing this question, Prabhu. Um, I need to look up the specific examples to answer that, but the example that comes to my mind is basically when the devotees or who are attained the stage of prema, and when they are living in this world, they look at all the different things like this is all disgust because of their rasa toward Krishna, because they have that primary one of the five rasas with Krishna, and that rasa is influencing and then making them feel whatever they are feeling is not material. So that emotion of disgust is a spiritual emotion, but that is directed toward matter. When they look at the matter, they feel that emotion, disgust. But that when the emotion that they're experiencing is not a material emotion, it's a spiritual emotion.
Thank you. Thank you. Um,
Thank you, Prabhu. Please, you can also add, Prabhu.
no, it is used exceptionally rarely in spiritual world where Radharani, in her highest anger, mood of anger, she feels some disgust towards Krishna because Krishna spent time with some other devotee. So, in very exceptionally rare cases, it is used to enhance the emotions of Krishna. And Krishna is worried. He is in the the fearful rasa that what will Radharani say? So, and then he says, Kim karishyasi, kim vadishyasi, sachiram virahe, kim dhane janena kim, jivitera. So, anyways, it's something like that. That's my understanding, but you can correct me.
Oh, thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you for adding that. And it is your session. Please feel free to add anytime. I'm just your servant.
I am your student. I'm
Oh,
listening to
Prabhu.
what you have to say.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Praveen Prabhu. Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you for joining.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandot Pranam, Jai Prabhupada.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, thank you so much for such a wonderful, wonderful class. And I really loved how you kind of presented the material and the, the emphasis you give on every aspect of the discussion today, including Mangalacharan and words and whatnot. Super awesome.
Thank you. Prabhu.
I had a quick question, Prabhu. So, does the rasa of a devotee towards Krishna, is it like predetermined and it stays constant for the given soul? Or is it like something that evolves over the time? The reason I ask is most of the in our sampradaya, right? We are all trying to be servants, and so we are trying to serve in dasya mode, right? So that's why I was just curious, right? The other rasas, do they naturally develop later on, or it's just that this is our permanent position?
Yeah, thank you for bringing this up. This is a little controversial topic, but just to summarize that, in the beginning, when the devotee starts with the Vaidhi Bhakti, which we will study in the Sadhana Bhakti section, he takes on the Dasya role, that he is a servant of Krishna. But as he progresses further, and then when he comes into association with a devotee who has this Raganuga Bhakti, then his mood toward Krishna takes on one of these four forms: Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, or Madhurya. If he predominantly practices the mood of impersonal jnana, and then he comes into bhakti, then he will just be stuck with this shantarasa. But otherwise, because of the association, the specific devotee, then he takes on this particular mood. If a person, for example, goes into Shri Vaishnava Sampradaya, will more be into the Dasya Rasa, and then you'll finally attain Dasya Rasa also. So different Sampradayas also emphasize different things, and then they attain finally that particular mood. About specifically this topic, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also writes commentary, and then we have also from Chaitanya Charitamrita as well. I wanted to cover today, but we will look at it to next week on that specific topic. What Vishwanath Chakravarti is saying, what Rupa Goswami is writing about that.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Satya Sankalpa Prabhu. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for that wonderful class. Prabhu, I had a question about so all the examples of the primary and secondary rasas that you gave were for like eternal associates who want to please Krishna in the relationship. So my question is, how does Krishna still experience rasa when the intention of somebody else is not to give him that pleasure? An example being Hiranyakashipu, but like when Lord Narasimha was fighting him, he was still experiencing Veera Rasa. But the intention of Hiranyakashipu was not to give him like that pleasure. So how does that happen?
That's a very good question. And this particular verse, which I wanted to discuss today, we didn't have time, also addresses that particular point as well. Because you asked a question to give here, when Krishna was walking in the arena, the impious rulers, Asatam Shitibujam, Asat Shitibuja. Shitibuja means the rulers of the earth, that is the kings, the bad kings, adharmic kings. When they looked at Krishna, they all saw Krishna as Shasta, punisher, or like a death, like that, chastiser. Is just coming there to whip everyone. Like that, they are looking at Krishna when he was walking in that arena. So they are experiencing emotion toward Krishna. Krishna is directly present in front of them, and they are also feeling that emotion. That emotion can be compared with Bhayanaka Rasa. So just we saw that here, Bhayanaka Rasa, the fear. So can we say that these Asat people are also experiencing Bhayanaka Rasa toward Krishna? Because Bhayanaka Rasa, we saw this, all these 12 rasas are spiritual emotions, are spiritual experiences. They are not material experience. So are these people, Asat, Adharmic kings, are they experiencing this spiritual emotion? So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says in the commentary, no. what they are experiencing is called Rasabhasa. So there is a specific topic Rupa Goswami is dealing in the last, toward the last of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. It's called Rasabhasa. It gives multiple variations of Rasabhasa. So what these kings are experiencing is Rasabhas, not Rasa. It's like Rasa, semblance of Rasa. Huh? They are undergoing something, but it is not Rasa. But when Krishna is fighting with, for example, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, there is two things that's happening. One is externally they have this demoniac form, but internally they are also devotees of Krishna. When they were Jai and Vijay, they came down to the earth and then they were fighting with Krishna. They are still devotees of Krishna. So still internally you can say Krishna is experiencing Virya Rasa because that is what he wanted to come for. And Jai and Vijay, they prayed for that we want to satisfy your Virya Rasa. You are fighting with all low-class demons, you are not fully, realizing your Virya Rasa. So we want to satisfy that. They prayed. Therefore, Krishna fulfilled their desire for only one lifetime, or not one lifetime, once. 3 lifetimes, but only once. But after 3 lifetime, what happens? Same Varaha avatar comes, same Narasimha comes. So who are Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksh? Who are Ravana and Kumbhakarna? So Rupa Goswami writes in Laghu Bhagavatamrita that they are all different demons. They are actually demons. Only one time Jai and Vijay came, and then they took 3 births. But in the rest of the Brahma's days, different regular demons come. So at that time, you can say there is not really Virya Rasa, like that. But when the Jai and Vijay are coming, we can say that, because they are devotees, Krishna may be satisfying them.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you, Radharanjan Prabhu, for posting 19.187. Okay. Thank you, devotees. We'll continue from here.
Prabhuji, a little follow-up on
Yes.
Prabhu. So you are saying if it is not exactly, because they are also participating in the Leela of the Lord only, right? Why it is not considered as the real emotion of secondary rasa? It's in the Krishna Leela, the picture you are showing here is Krishna Leela only, right? So
Yes. So when Krishna comes in front of us, not all of us will experience prema. Some atheistic people also. Right now, let's say Krishna comes in front of us. Can we appreciate his spiritual form? No. We need to have premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santas sataiva hridayeshu vilokayanti. The eyes should be anointed with the prema, which means a person should have achieved the stage of prema. Then he will be able to see the spiritual form of Krishna. Then the real emotions in the spiritual body it will happen. But in the material body, we will not be able to see Krishna. So what is stopping us? The example given is the sun and the cloud. Sun I can directly see, but when the cloud comes in front, I cannot see the sun. I can see something like sun. So similarly, when Krishna, even if he appears in front of us, because we do not have spiritual eyes, we will see something like Krishna, but not Krishna. And because they are seeing a semblance of Krishna, they are not actually seeing the spiritual form of Krishna. Their experience will also be a semblance rather than actual experience.
wonderful. Wonderful, Prabhu. Thank you so much for clarification.
Thank you. Thank you, devotees, for joining. We'll stop here. We'll continue from next week. Hare Krishna. Vansha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Antkori Vaishnava ki jai.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.